and Kshetra and Kshetragya. Field and the knower of the field, and knowledge and object of knowledge. Jnana and Gneya. Gneya is object of knowledge. So this definition of knowledge Krishna has already given. As the first thing he says is, knowledge means to understand what is the first definition of knowledge he gives earlier in this chapter. Kshetra and Kshetragya. Knowing the difference between Kshetra and Kshetragya, knowing the difference between the body and the field of the field and the body and the field of activities, and the knower of the field. That is called Kshetra is the field and Kshetragya is the knower of the field. Understanding body and soul, that is the first definition of knowledge. Then later on, he gives us the further definition, which is in the 8th to the 12th verse. So this is the definition of knowledge. You want more copies of Gita? We got, you have to take it out very carefully. Vijay, can you just, there's a few stuff on top there, you have to remove that carefully and take out Bhagavad Gita from there. Take the hardbound, the big one. Yeah, give it to. You can come here if you want. You can sit, there's place here. More light, okay. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. So this is the definition of knowledge. And after this we'll read the definition of, so 8 to 12 is going to be the definition of knowledge, and 13 to 19 is going to be the object of knowledge. What's the object of knowledge? And after that we have Prakriti and Purusha, the next section, 20 to 26. And after that we have result of liberation through knowledge, 27 to 35. So that's more or less the layout of the chapter. Yep. Which one? 13 to 19 is the object of knowledge. One of the 6 questions, right? And 20 to 26 is Prakriti and Purusha. Sorry, 9, yeah. Yeah, 2026 is Prakriti and Purusha, and 27 to 35 is result of liberation through knowledge. How to get liberated with knowledge, how knowledge helps you get liberated. Six questions and 4 sections of the chapter. So we'll continue with the reading the 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So start reciting. Or start Ruchika, read 8, text 8. Then Mathura Gokul can read 9, 10, 11, 12, like that we'll go. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Amanityam adambhitvam.
Amanitvam adambhitvam.
Ahimsa shantirarjavam.
Ahimsa shantirarjavam.
Acharyopashanam shaucham.
Acharyopasanam shaucham.
धैर्यम् आत्मा विनिग्रहः
Tairyam vinigraha.
इन्द्रियार्थेषु वैराग्य
Andiyarteshu vairagyam.
अहङ्कारा इव च मनहङ्कार एव च
Ahankara vevacha.
जन्म मृत्यु जरा व्याधि
Anamrityujara vyadhi.
दुःखदोषानुदर्शनम्
Dukkhadoshanu
असाक्तिर् अन्नविश्वाङ्ग
Vishanga.
पुत्रधाराग्रगादिषु
Putradaradishu.
नित्यं च श्यामचित्तत्वम्
Tam chasana nittatvam.
स्थानिष्ठोपपातिषु
Nistanishto vipatishu.
मयि च नन्ययोगेन
Aichananena yogena.
भक्तिरव्यभिचारिणी
Bhaktirabhyabhicharini.
विविक्तदेशसेवित्वम्
Viktadesha sevitvam.
अरतिर्जनसंसदि
Jaratirjanna samsati.
अध्यात्मज्ञाननित्यत्वम्
Adhyatma jnana nittatvam.
तत्त्वजनार्थदर्शनम्
Tattva jnanartha.
एतज्ज्ञानम् इति प्रोक्तम्
Viktai jnanam iti proktam.
अज्ञानं यत् अतो यथा
Actually, the second line is not jana, it's jnana. Jnana. We'll read that again. We'll read this verse again.
एते ज्ञानम् इति प्रोक्तम्
No, adhyatma jnana.
अध्यात्मज्ञानं नित्यत्वम्
Ajnata jnana nittatvam.
तत्त्वज्ञानार्थदर्शनम्
Tattva jnanartha darshanam.
एतज्ज्ञानम् इति प्रोक्तम्
Eta jnanamiti proktam.
अज्ञानं यत् अतो यथा
Yata nanyam yato nuyata. Very good. Okay, Sarvatirtha can read the translation. Read the whole thing because you can't break up 8, 9, 10. Just read the whole thing.
Humility, pridelessness, non-violence, tolerance, simplicity, approaching a bona fide spiritual master, cleanliness, steadiness, self-control, renunciation of the objects of sense gratification, absence of false ego, the perception of the evil of birth, death, old age and disease, detachment, freedom from entanglement with children, wife, home, and the rest, even-mindedness amid pleasant and unpleasant events, constant and unalloyed devotion to me, aspiring to live in a solitary place, detachment from the general mass of people, accepting the importance of self-realization and philosophical search for absolute truth. All these I declare to be knowledge, and besides this, whatever there may be is ignorance.
Thank you. So there are, okay now. So there are 20 items mentioned here, 20 items of knowledge. So of these 20, which is the most important for a devotee? Tolerance, humility, they're all important, but there's one key that holds, there's one quality here that is key to all the 20. Very important, yes, that is there. Yes, it is to do with taking shelter of Krishna. Taking complete shelter of Krishna, which means taking shelter of the bona fide spiritual master. So this is the key to everything else. Because then from that will come cleanliness, self-control, renunciation, all this will come. So of these 20, the first 18 are meant for jnanis and devotees. But this is the last two are, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says the last two are meant only for the jnanis. Generally speaking, or rather technically speaking, from technical point of view. Okay, so last time we covered humility. We covered, I think we did more than that. cleanliness, right? We did cleanliness last time. I think Narsingh Kavach Prabhu did fast forward to cleanliness. Because it's a fast forwarded to that. Okay, then yeah. So we'll read cleanliness again and go on to the next paragraph. So Srimali Prabhu can read from there. Cleanliness.
Hare Krishna. Cleanliness is essential for making advancement in spiritual life. There are two kinds of cleanliness, external and internal. External cleanliness means taking a bath, but for internal cleanliness, one has to think of Krishna always and chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. This process cleans the accumulated dust of past karma from the mind.
Very good. So we discussed this quite elaborately. What is meant by internal cleanliness? Okay.
Keeping
Cleanliness, or to have bad thoughts about somebody, or to have some bad vibrations towards someone. That's the internal cleanliness. So internal cleanliness is purity of thought, purity of your mind. So that is achieved, both external and internal, achieved by remembering the Lord. Oma pavitra pavitro va sarvastham gato piva yasmaret pundarikaksham sabahya abhyantara suchi. Bahya and abhyantara suchi. You get clean from outside and inside. So both are necessary, and both are achieved by remembering the Lord. And the easiest way to remember, Prabhupada says, is to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Yeah, because our mind is associated with matter for so many lifetimes, it is very hard to keep the mind pure. Very difficult to keep the mind pure. So therefore constant chanting is necessary. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says Kirtaniya Sadahari. But in order for the chanting to be effective, he has given some qualities as well. That's why Trinadapi Sunichena. One has to be more humble than a blade of grass. So that humility is really tested. So when we are doing service to Krishna, Sarvatirtha Prabhu discovers in the heat of service, and Nand Gokul too, you are challenged. This is challenged. Our humility is always challenged. When you are taking some responsibility, the challenge is higher. If I just remain in the background, then humility is not tested so much. You feel you are a great devotee. And a devotee who tries to do something and makes a mistake or has problems is criticized by someone who doesn't do anything or does little. And that makes it really hard to accept, isn't it? So you want to say, okay, Prabhu, what about you? What are you doing? You're always criticizing. But then, that is our training, that's our austerity. I think we discussed this one time, isn't it? Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur had one person who used to go to his class every day, and he would always criticize him. And devotees were very angry. They wanted to get him out of the class, they wanted him to get lost, go away, leave the place. But Bhakti Siddhanta said, no, let him come, let him come. Then one day they got the news that the person passed away. And Bhakti Siddhanta, everybody was very happy. Hey, he's a big blasphemer, offender, aparadhi is gone. But Bhakti Siddhanta started crying. He said, oh, my best friend is gone. So what do you mean? He was criticizing all the time. He never said one thing good about you. He said, I need that to keep me humble. If someone is not there to criticize me and keep me humble, there's always a risk I become proud. He was my good friend, is helping me to remain humble. So I'm going to miss him now. So because of false ego, we get upset when when we are insulted or criticized. But that's very hard to take. But at the same time, we should not tolerate the insulting of other devotees. So that's the hard balance. You say, all right, let anyone insult anyone, I'll just turn a deaf ear. No. If other devotees are being criticized, the Lord is being criticized, then we have to act on that. We have to take some action. And what is the recommended action? Yeah. Yeah, that is one of the options. But the real option is to try and correct that situation. To explain to the person, look, what you're doing is wrong. Try to stop that. If you can't stop it, or even defeat them in argument, if there's a debate, then you defeat them and show you're wrong. A second is to cut off the tongue. But if that's not possible, then it's best to leave the place. One should not remain in that place. One should not continue, like they say in Hindi, ha mein ha milana. Oh yeah, you're right. Oh yes, that guy is terrible. So that's a very difficult situation to be in. The best is to leave the place. If you can't control the conversation, if it's going beyond control, then better to leave the place. Now, having said that, for a parent, for a guru, it is necessary to correct their dependents. It is necessary. The guru has to correct the disciple. That's not called offense. That's not blasphemy. Parents have to correct the children. That's not blasphemy. That is acceptable. But at the same time, we have to make sure that it is done for the benefit of the person. So I'm just waiting for next weekend. We got the cruise. So I didn't want to start the Mahatma Prabhu's course. The week after we'll start. Otherwise we have breaks. So next week we won't have class. So I'm waiting for next week. He covers it very nicely. 7 sessions. Actually, it talks about the what is an offense and what is not an offense, how to react to an offense to you, and how to react when you are committing an offense, how to take care of that. So it's a very comprehensive discussion, and with plenty of case studies as well, which is very useful for us. Yeah, please, use the microphone.
This is one pastime or whatever, one incident which I remembered. Sorry, I'm telling about my own Gurudev. I heard it recently. It seems when one of the ISKCON gurus left, then one of the disciples of Gurudev, he was talking ill of that devotee. And so when Gurudev heard that, and that too Gurudev was giving the class, and that devotee was talking ill of that other devotee. So Gurudev said in Bengali, "Ek marbo, I will hit you one." And still that boy didn't stop. He said, if he said something bad about me, I'll keep quiet. But he said something bad about you, so I can't keep quiet. It is my duty to speak like this. So Gurudev got very angry and he told all the other devotees around him, "Take him away from here. I don't want to see his face." So like that is how senior devotees are showing us how we should react. And in many cases, we ourselves become those offenders. We only talk. So then we should ourselves go out, or we should learn not to do that in the future. The Paramatma from inside, we should keep endeavoring to chant better and better every day, so much so that Paramatma from inside will say, "Hey, you're going wrong. Stop it now. Don't say one more word." And then we should go to the devotee and ask for forgiveness. "I'm so sorry. I spoke like this about you, or thought like this." Thoughts, every day you'll have to keep saying sorry to everyone, because thoughts are so bad. That is internal cleanliness. And in pranic healing circles, when I used to go for pranic healing classes, our teacher had told how in our scanning techniques class, they were showing us how to scan the chakras of a person. You can feel the chakras of the person. So then that time I was still fairly new. So I asked, "Can you please scan the chakras of this guru?" And the teacher said, "Oh my God, it's so beautiful. Just thinking of this person," she didn't know it's guru and all that. She said, just thinking of this person, I'm feeling so blissful. The aura of this person, this chakras of this person is throughout this whole city. So, you all must have observed, whenever any guru comes, any bona fide guru who's following Srila Prabhupada by body, mind and words, whenever they come, you start feeling so happy because you are sitting in the aura of that devotee, that Vaishnava. The whole of Sydney is in his aura. So that is internal cleanliness. But we people, because our chakras are so small because of all our bad thoughts, sometimes you feel, oh my God, I don't want to be with this person. Or when we go to their house, they feel, oh my God, why has she come or why has he come? That is because our internal cleanliness is, there is no cleanliness, there is only dirt. That's why Cheto Darpanam Archanam, cleaning.
Thank you. Yes, Mati.
Like recently, I've seen this in Facebook as Mataji was telling something. It's related to that. If somebody comes and says something, like we should avoid if it is not true. Like Maharaj was explaining in one of the lecture, like one person went to Chanakya Pandit and he said, I wanted to say something about your friend. And Chanakya Pandit said, before he could say anything, I just wanted to tell you, I just got 3 filter points. So the first filter point what he has asked is, what you are saying about my friend, is it true? Have you ever seen that he is doing that, or have you heard by yourself? What you are saying to me is truthful. He said, no, this may be true or may not be true because I have not seen by myself. And then said, okay, there are 2 more filter points. The second one, he said, what you are going to say about my friend is good or bad? He says, it is not good and it is bad. And the third point, what he asked it, what you are going to say me is useful to me or not? He says, no, it is not useful to you. Then he says, okay, if it is not true, if it is not good, and if it is not useful, then why are you saying this to me? So
Very
better
nice.
not to say this to me.
Very
So
nice.
that this is how we can just maybe try to filter if somebody comes and says something about somebody. We can just start trying to do this 3 filter point.
Very
and
good.
this way we can just avoid the prajalpa as well.
Yeah, very nice point. Thank you. Very practical and
You only put it on Facebook or someone put it on Facebook, the triple filter. It's from Radhanath Maharaj's quote for the day. So when I read that, I thought, oh, we can write a small poem about this. You see, it can be TUG. It's true and useful and good. So TUG, so tug. So then in the poem we should write, if we are hearing or talking ill of someone, it should tug at the heart. The heart chakra should tug like saying, hey, this is wrong. So I want to write one poem like that. And so at least the Bhakti Shastri students should follow it. We should be the change that we want to see in others. Once, I don't know when, this one, Tirtha Gauranga Prabhu and I were talking, and I had said that in Vishnu Goswami Maharaj's Vyasa Puja. I told how he didn't tolerate anyone criticizing each other. So I said, we have to learn this from this Maha Vaishnava whom we are glorifying today. So then Tirtha Gauranga Prabhu and I started talking about that. And he said, yes, Mataji, we should be the change we want to see in others. So he said, we'll talk to a few devotees and we will form a club where we will not criticize anyone. And once we start doing it, then everybody else who comes and tells anything to us, then we can say, look, we are not encouraging this. So 3-4 start, and then the whole of Sydney congregation can become like that. Won't that be wonderful? So I think whoever is here today, we should do the tug thing, the tug formula. Yeah, we will all start tug formula ki jai.
yeah. Jai. Jai. You give the microphone. Yeah.
I agree with this, but it's very difficult actually. Practically for me, actually, it's very difficult because sometimes someone wants to express something about someone which is bad, which is not useful to you, but some some things which are going in someone's life, just generally. So what should we do then? What should I do or what should other person do then? Because
Yeah.
it can create a prajalpa which is out of like chanting chanting out of devotion this.
Yeah.
But then if someone wants to express and throw out,
Yeah.
so it's very hard, because if you just keep in your mind and you get stressful life, because mentally you go mad sometimes.
Yeah.
So we need to throw it out actually to someone who is close, your friend, or so should we throw it out through Krishna? We just speak out to Krishna or something? I don't find the solution. Then what should we do, Mataji?
What do you think, Sital Mataji? So actually there are two different situations. If your role is as a Shiksha Guru, or your role is a counselor, then you can ask the person to speak out their thoughts, which may or may not be true. But the problem is, you run the risk of getting contaminated. The person who's dumping will dump on you and go away, leave the negativity with you and go away. They'll feel relieved, okay? But the problem is you are stuck with that now. So if you are Krishna conscious enough to handle that negativity, take out the hurt feelings from that devotee who's speaking like that, and then get to the point and say, okay, all this you have told me now apply the tug principle. Is it truthful? Is it useful? Is it something good about someone? Usually people don't come and tell you good about someone. If it is, they'll only say bad only. That is today's Kali Yuga, that's the fact. Because something has hurt me, I want to talk about it with somebody else. I want to share with somebody my hurt feelings. So allowing devotees to express their hurt feelings is alright. But you have to be very careful. To do counseling is not easy. So better to refer them to a qualified person. Or if they can't, you listen to them, then you in turn will have to get debriefed on that. So you don't get stuck with that. Otherwise you will start harboring negative feelings towards that devotee. If A comes and tells B is like this, B is like that, B is bad, so many bad things, then your relationship with B will also be spoilt. You will start thinking less of that. It's not just to listen to that. So counseling is not that easy. It's not, because you are absorbing the mood of the person. Now you have to be Krishna conscious enough to hear that person's negativity and lift them up to positivity with your Krishna consciousness. Then that person will be benefited. See, you spoke so many things about the person. How much of it is true? How much of it is beneficial? In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says our speech should have three qualities: Satyam, Hitam, Priyam. But he says Priyam can be compromised. But Satyam and Hitam should not be compromised. Hitam is beneficial. That's what Radha Maharaj said pretty much. That's from the Gita only. The Bhagavad Gita. But he's put it very nicely so you can understand it. Satyam is it truth? Hitam, is it beneficial? And Priyam, is it pleasing? Is it good, like you said? He said good, but same thing. Satyam, Hitam, Priyam. We'll read later in the later chapter of the Gita it comes. Speech had three qualities. And one more thing Krishna mentions there, that by regularly reciting Vedic mantras, our tongue gets purified and tendency to speak such things will be reduced. I remember before I became a devotee, I would very easily get angry and start saying bad words. Not, obscene words, but still, he's a nonsense, he's a rascal, he's a horrible fellow, still bad words would come out, But after I started chanting, I found that now I have a better control of my tongue. I'm not saying it's good, but it's much better. Because then because you are trying to constantly apply these three principles. Now, if a person is coming and telling you how they feel, that's not offensive. Let's say the Tamil president shouts at me, suppose. Like an example. Now, I can go and tell a devotee who is a close friend of mine, look, Prabhu, so-and-so Tamil president shouted at me. I felt really upset by that. I'm really unhappy. I don't know how to deal with this. That's not an offense. But if I start saying, he doesn't know how he's behaving, he's a nonsense, he should know better, he should not do this, then you should say, hang on, you're not telling me how he should behave. That's not our discussion. Our discussion is your hurt feelings. You have been hurt. So you can express those feelings, no problem. I felt insulted, I felt offended, or I felt whatever. Your feelings you can describe. That's not a problem. That's not an offense. Isn't it? You get the point? But we should not go to the point of saying he should not behave like this, should not do that. Who are you to tell how he should or should not behave? That's why many people objected to Prabhupada's writing. They said, Swamiji should not call us rascals. He is calling us fools and rascals. Swamiji should not do that. What is your qualification to describe how Prabhupada should or should not do? What is your qualification? Should is a very strong word, right? You should not. No, thou shalt not. We have to be in higher position than Prabhupada to give Prabhupada instruction how he should preach. But in spite of all that, Prabhupada was asking for forgiveness. At the end of his pastime, he said, please forgive me. I have called you all fools and rascals. Though he did that for our benefit, he didn't do that out of sense gratification or a ego trip. But he did that for our benefit. So hearing devotees when they speak is okay as long as this criteria is met. A, that you don't get into difficulty because of that. You don't get contaminated. B, they stick to feelings. It is all, as devotees, we have to have dadati patigranati gohyam akhyati pritchati. 6 exchanges there. There has to be give and take. If you are hurt, you have to talk to some devotee, and you can't go and tell X, Y, Z. You have to tell a devotee only, a reliable, trustworthy devotee. And that devotee should not get pulled down by the negativity. But there have to be some, like Maharaj said, there have to be some conditions should be there. So expressing the feeling is not wrong. You can make that clear to them. Okay, I can hear you out. You got hurt feelings. I can understand that. But don't go beyond the line. You shouldn't cross the line. You should do, should not do this, should not done that. That's not up to us to tell what they should do. That the higher authorities will deal with it. We don't have to worry about that. Yeah, exactly. And try to give instruction, try to tell how they should behave. That is not our domain. That's not going to benefit us anyway, and most probably might commit offenses. That answer your question? It's a big topic, but you get an idea, right? Don't get into trouble. In other words, you're trying to help somebody, but you get in trouble. Shouldn't get into trouble. And you find it too difficult, you can hand over to another devotee who you feel is more qualified to handle the situation, and say, you go and talk to this devotee. He can help you out. No? Yeah. Correct. Yeah, definitely. Okay, for them there's no problem, but with them the available time is a problem. They're not here every day, so that's where the difficulty comes, the practical side of it. But the process is like this: you have someone. Every devotee should have someone who's a mentor. Okay, you should have a mentor. That mentor, you should go to the mentor first. Now the mentor should have integrity. That this is a problem I can't handle. Let me escalate it to the next level. This is beyond my capacity. Don't try to solve problem that we cannot qualify to. Be honest and say, look, this is beyond my capacity. I need to hand over to someone more senior. And that time the mentor can learn with the senior devotee how to tackle such future problems. The next time it happens, he knows how to. He won't disturb the senior devotee again. No, he will already learn from that. Okay, we work on it together. Sometimes our devotees come to me with problems. I will tell them, you try to solve the problem, but I'll be helping you. It goes beyond a certain level, then I escalate it to the senior devotees who will then give their guidance. So we have escalation path. Everyone has a path. And if someone has problem in ISKCON with ISKCON authorities, there's an ombudsman as well. There are mediation teams are available. Mediation is available. There is mediation possible also. So ISKCON, we got ISKCON Resolve, that resolves conflicts, conflict resolution. We have got teams doing that. So we have a lot of resources available that we can deal with. But we should not try to take up a situation that we can't handle and then mess it up. And then it's bad for everyone then. Bad for us, bad for other person, and they are left with all ill feelings at the end. Nobody benefits from that. A lot of time, energy gone, but end result is negative. So that's not very good.
Prabhu, I have a different situation. Like even that's maybe at the work or any organization that could happen. It's like you basically at the counseling you report that certain and certain person is not behaving well or whatever, and he's doing things wrong, which probably and it seems that everyone is reporting and has got problem with that person, but you see that there is no action is being taken to rectify that thing. So how do you deal with that? Because that happens with at the work or any organization that happens.
Mm.
So how do you take that and absorb that thing?
Yeah, if the action is not taken, I can try reminders. And reminders may not necessarily, sometimes email is not the best way to do it because people may not read the email or they might miss it. So reminder in a way that you can actually talk to the person and remind them that this action not been taken. So how many reminders depends on how serious the case is, how urgent it is, because everyone has many priorities, so we have to see where it fits in. And if it still doesn't get resolved, we can go to the next level. I will report a problem, nothing has been done. I've reminded 2-3 times, but it still doesn't seem to work. It's very important, it needs to be resolved. So like that. But best to let the devotee complain, to let them know, look Prabhu, you are very busy, I see that you can't do it, can I escalate it? Don't do it behind the back. It should not be done sort of political way. Better do it openly and say, look, I understand you're busy, can I escalate to such and such person? And usually they'll say, yeah, that's all right, I'm busy, or no, I will look into it now, I'm sorry, I haven't been around, I'll get around to it, but I'll do it now. So there'll be some kind of resolution.
Prabhu, this is more towards like in terms of like devotees and everything that I understand, but in terms of in places like workplace where you cannot basically step over your boss, or there are limitations where people's egos are more to handle. And say one team member has got like 3 team members has got a problem with one team member, and all of them they are reporting, but no action is being taken. So, and he seems to be still having a troublemaker. So whether we should absorb that, or how do we take it? Because we have already taken some action from our side. So it becomes very, like if you try to be humble and just let everything happen, then you could be in a very frustrating situation.
No, we have to take action. It's not that we should not take action. Tolerance up to a point is okay. Because we all have tolerated each other in the end. They are also tolerating me, so I have to tolerate them. To some extent, that is all right. But at the same time, we cannot let it go to a stage where it becomes intolerable and person thinks I can take advantage of these people. So allowing someone to take advantage of you is not a sign of Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada said that in the Bombay pastime, Juhu temple land, get Juhu land, getting for Juhu, that. Devotees thought, it's too hard, let us give up the land. They gave it up. And they're saying, Krishna wants, we'll get it. Prabhupada was not very impressed with that logic. Even now with the new temple project, I get so many people giving me advice. If Krishna wants, Krishna ichha hogi to ho jayega. I said, no, but what are you doing about it? No, if Krishna wishes, it will happen. Krishna wishes, that's why I'm talking to you. So, like that, people say so many things. But we have to see how much we can tolerate, especially if it's affecting others also. Then all the more reason we should take action. And it has to, and sometimes you have to bypass the boss. You have to let him know, look, I'm not happy with the resolution. I'm really not happy. It's not only affecting me, it's affecting others. And this person is trying to get away with it. The wrong message being sent.
Thank you very much.
And you should also start putting a CV on public domain. If worse comes to us, be prepared for escape route. Get the parachute ready. Yes, Sharmukhi.
In ISKCON Chowpatty, they've got so many counselors, and every counselor has also got a counselor in turn. So they have that support system. And finally it goes to Maharaj. But here in Sydney, we have the congregation is growing quite rapidly, but we don't have many counselors and problems. Sydney is quite a passionate place. So the more passionate the place, the more problems. But then we don't have enough counselors. So does there have to be any training for devotees to counsel? So that here it came up as a topic because we were discussing internal cleanliness.
Every class we always have some points of behavioral side. Every class you'll find it's there. It's a matter of switching on to that. See, training doesn't mean you go to classroom, you got whiteboard and you got butcher paper, you got color pen. That is one kind of training. We have that also. Krishna Prabhu is here, Atul Krishna Prabhu is here. That is one type of training. Other type of training is we train by reading Shastra. Because all the answers are in the Shastra. All the answers. So we have to have proper faith in the Shastra first. And we should have the system. So that's why we have leaders, and leaders have to be trained by their sector leaders have got circle leaders. So we have a whole system there. And we have senior devotees visiting us. Bhakti Rasami Maharaj is helping us. Bhakti Charu Maharaj is helping us. Krishna Prabhu is helping us. See, the thing is, the point is this, we have to mature very quickly. We can't remain immature for a long time. Our movement is very, very, very fast track movement. It's not for what would take normally someone 100 lifetimes. We get that done in 100 days or 100 hours. Because it's a fast track movement. And fast track means there's going to be just comfort zone is going to be stretched. We are not a varnashram dharma where we just everyone does their own duty, go and look after your family, do your job nicely, keep yourself clean, take bath, be healthy, be happy, and occasionally come to the temple. We are not that kind of movement. That's not ISKCON. This is an emergency fast track movement. Prabhupada said the world is on fire and we'll put out the fire. So we can't wait for things to be perfect and then we'll do a little bit here and there. When Karna came home, when the war of battle Kurukshetra was going on, Karna, he came home. His wife was feeding the baby. Baby was, of course, they used to feed up to 7 years those days. So he was about 7 years old. And Karna, when she finished feeding, he took his son, put him on his lap, and said, "Would you like to try out this armor?" And he put on the armor on him. And the mom was saying, "What's going on here?" No, he's just putting on armor. Then they put on a helmet, everything. Then he asked the boy, "Would you like to come with daddy to the battlefield?" "Hey, yeah, I'd like to come." The mom saying, "Hang on, he's still drinking milk. How can you take him now? He's only 7 years old. He can't fight." And Karna said, "Now war is going on. In emergency, everybody has to go out. And I hope you fed him in the milk some courage and bravery and intelligence so that he can fight for our country." That is Kshatriya spirit. So now children are being exposed to Krishna consciousness from a young age. Not that after 25, after 50, after 60 you start Krishna consciousness. Not like that. That is not ISKCON. That's why we request parents to come with children. Because the foundation is there. It's very clear. When they grow up in this environment, they're naturally Krishna conscious. They don't have to struggle. It's there. And even if they go away from the path, they always realize they come back to the right path. Because the foundation is so strong. They make a mistake even, they'll come back. But if you let this opportunity go, when they're older, it'll be that much harder for them to stay on the path. And even if they stay on the path, there's a risk of always falling down. Isn't it, Sam? You're seeing that too? Among your friends, teenagers, young people, 20s, the youth. They struggle a lot when they don't have the background. But those who have a good foundation, so different. They're Krishna conscious. They don't struggle so much. Because for the young people it's very hard. There's so many temptations, so much. Very hard to be a teenager in this age. Because there's so many negative vibrations, so many challenges, provocations, so much. Everywhere it's there. So it's very hard for them to grow up in this environment. So unless we give them the foundation, not going to be easy. So having said that, we have been brought up with whatever conditioning we have. Just coming back to your question. So we have to make the best of what we have. And if we depend on Krishna, depend on Guru, surely we'll get the guidance. We have senior devotees willing to guide us. We have to take their guidance.
I was just reminded of one more thing. One devotee, she is a disciple of His Grace Burijan Prabhu. and she had gone to Vrindavan, and there Burjan Prabhu was also there. And it seems after the Bhagavatam class, one morning she went up to him and said, Gurudev, can I see you personally? Can I come for a personal darshan? So, with Mataji. He said, yes, but what's the problem? She said, I want to have some counseling. He said, I know the best counselor, you come with me. And he took her in front of Krishna Balaram and he said, these are the best counselors. You tell everything to them. They will give you the answer. And she started doing that and she felt very satisfied.
It's the same thing what Kancham Prabhu also told in the beginning when we started ISKCON. Like whatever you have in your mind about another devotee, you feel like, oh, I feel like killing that person. No? Even that's what Kancham Prabhu said. Go to your deity, and then every morning we all get like personal time with deities. So you go to them and then tell them whatever you're feeling about another person. Krishna, this is what I'm thinking about the other person. Like I'm just thinking about like this to that person, like that to other person. So you tell whatever you have in mind, whether you tell or not, Krishna knows whatever there in your mind. But still you keep talking to the deities and they will definitely respond. Like if the fault is in you, he will try to correct you. If the fault is in somebody else, he will try to help you to solve that problem. So that's what Ghanshyam Prabhu said, like whatever you have the personal time with your deities and then start talking to them. So, and your Guru Maharaj as well. So they will definitely help you in one way or the other, because they are more reliable person than anybody else. Like if you keep telling to anybody, they may go and say about you to somebody else, this is what this person had told about you. So it is always try to rely on Krishna rather than relying to somebody else, unless you get a confidence on another devotee. That's what Kancham Prabhu has told us in the beginning.
I want to quickly share one small thing which happened to me recently, now only in Adelaide. There was this Mataji, she's much elder to me, and she kept on telling, oh, that person, he's a devotee, he's very cunning, and he's like this, he's like that. And because she's elder to me, I didn't know how to just cut her off like that and saying, no, Mataji, I can't listen to this. I felt obliged to sit and listen. And I was fidgeting and I was showing through my body gestures that I want to leave. But then she went on and on and on. And then finally, I couldn't stand it anymore. And I told her, Mataji, I'm very sorry. I heard all this till now, but now it's polluting my consciousness. I'm sorry, I can't listen. And then she realized. And what Prabhu said, no, exactly. So she's spoken to me about somebody else. And in the evening, I see the devotee. And all that she has said is coming back. And then I'm thinking, oh, Krishna, where is... And instantly I had to tell myself, no, enlist all the good things that you see in this devotee. He's preaching very well. He's doing this. He's listening. He's following the instructions of his Guru Maharaj, even if his family didn't like it. And they are staying back and they're doing this. Then felt so relieved and happy. But then again, I have to think good about that Mataji who complained also. Poor thing. She's gone through that first-hand experience she's had. And she's felt all that anger and disappointment and disillusionment, everything. Okay, sympathize with her also. She's doing all this. In spite of all that, she's carrying on so well. Then you feel peaceful. As otherwise, it's so detrimental as a human being and then as a devotee.
Good, yeah. Yes, Prabhu?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Bhakti Rasamrita Maharaj, when he was here, His Holiness Bhakti Rasamrita, he said that we should all... like he actually gave an example saying that a temple president should be standing in front of the deities and giving all the he should read the accounts in front of the deities, and because all the money belongs to the deities. So in a way that he actually encouraged every one of us to talk to the deities and get the counseling, and basically I remember that when he was here last time.
Very true. Yeah, that's very nice. Because you see, the more we relate to deity, that's why the more we get the reciprocation. And that is why Prabhupada established Radha Gopinath, you see. To have the center in Sydney, Radha Gopinath. And that's why I'm so much against devotees that say temple is too far away, temple is not accessible, this, that. That's very, very, they're missing out so much. So much you're missing out. Even if it's far, so what? Make some attempt. This is the wrong philosophy that's being taught. That's not Prabhupada's philosophy. No, you won't find Prabhupada's books. Temple is too far, you don't have to go. Nowhere is mentioned like that. Of course, if people are living far away, they can have local preaching, but they should still make an attempt to come to the temple, at least once a month, twice a month. So how can you have relation with deities when you don't even come and see them? We're in the same town, we're not 40,000 miles away. It's, 30, 40, maybe 50 kilometers away, that's all. And we've got good cars and highways. Public transport is there. So one attempt has to. There's one lady in Blacktown. She's gone to Filipino lady. She comes every day, carrying heavy luggage. She comes every day. Please come inside too. There's a lot of space here. That's the kindergarten area. Mati, you can come forward. The kids are grown up now. You can move. You can upgrade yourself. Business class. Yeah. Yeah. If you want, you can sit on the sofa if you need back support. Anybody? So yeah, just finishing that point. But having said that, having relationship with the deities is not easy. It takes time. It's not easy. We can go and talk deities, nothing happens. Second time we try, third time nothing happens. You think, oh, forget it. So that tendency is there. So I understand it's not easy, but if you don't make a start, it's not going to happen. If you say I'm not going to bother, it's not going to happen. It can only happen when you make a start, when you make an attempt. Hidalan Maji, you want to say something sometime? No? Just put up your hand, okay? Because I may not notice sometimes. Yeah, please. Where's the microphone for you?
Actually, then the question comes, because there are different deities, like you say Narshima, and then Gauranitai,
Yeah.
and then Radha Krishna. So
Yeah.
there's you can express the same feelings to everyone, or it's like you can't express okay, this I have to tell for Narshim because he clears off all the arthalas and all, whatever the obstacles are there. So the question comes like which questions we should discuss with which deities. So that's like, I'm going into depth actually. But then you say for Narshima is for removing the obstacles and whatever the hurdles are coming in your life and in your devotional service, whatever material or. So that's my question. Is it different or is same?
It is. Yeah, it's same and different. Achintya bheda bheda tattva. It depends on the relationship. Someone has more faith in Nrsimhadev, you can talk to him. Some devotees have more faith in Radha Gopinath, they can talk. Some devotees have more faith in Gauranitai, they talk to them. There are devotees who pray to Lord Nityananda, he is the most merciful. More merciful than them is Advaitacharya. More merciful than them is the 6 Goswamis. More merciful than them is all Acharyas one by one. Prabhupada, more merciful. More merciful than Prabhupada is our spiritual master. As you come down the parampara, the mercy increases. So, yeah, you can pray to Guru Maharaj, definitely. At the same time, we can have a relationship with the deities. It's not that I have a relationship with Guru Maharaj, so I don't have anything with the deities. No, it's not like that. Guru is important. Guru is directing us to Krishna ultimately. So you always, when you approach deities also, you have to approach through Guru, not directly. You can't say Hari Bol Radha Gopinath. No, approach through them. Means, you can say 10 times what is wrong. But the point is, you can't approach Radha Gopinath directly. First you offer Guru Pranam Mantra, then Prabhupada, then at least a few Acharyas, Pranam Mantras. At least mention the names. Yes, Prabhupada, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Gokshi Babaji Maharaj, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Raghunath Babaji Maharaj, Sad Goswami. Like that you can mention a few names. Or at least offer the prayers, Vandeham, Sri Guru, Sri Jutta, that's got everything in that. That prayer has got all the parampara there. I mean, a nutshell. Concisely, all the parampara is represented in that Vandeham prayers. You can mention that. So then you speak to Radha Gopinath, not directly walk up and say, I've got something to say. So we have to learn these etiquettes of how to approach deities and all. There's a certain way to do that through the parampara system. But then as you start having a relationship with the deities, making stronger and stronger, you get reciprocation also likewise. It comes like that. And sometimes the reciprocation is hard to see. It may be hard to see. You may not see it immediately. You may see it later. Or it may be going on, but you're not aware of it. Yeah.
For Anaya's birthday, Venkat Madhav Prabhu and Yudheshwari Mataji, they presented me these Bhagwat Gita wisdom cards. You all must have seen it, no? So Prabhu taking on all these responsibilities, it puts a lot of pressure on me also from time to time. And I'm so confused. Should I do this? Should I do that? Or whatever I did, was that right, Krishna? Radha Gopinath, are you pleased with what I did, or should I do something else? So then he is also not there to ask him. And so I'll just spread them out and I'll think of the problem. I'll really close my eyes and really pray through Guru Parampara, please, this problem, can you give me the answer? And I'll pick out one card. Many a time it will be so right. Sometimes you can't understand what Krishna is saying. So many a time you get just the right thing which you need to hear. It's so fantastic. I'm sure all of you have experienced it. You just keep the Bhagavad Gita in front of you and just meditate on the lotus feet of your Guru Maharaj and think of Radha Gopinath and open the page, you'll get the answer. But it's, of course, the answer is not especially tailor-made to your situation. It's a general answer. And it's definitely, because these are spiritual answers to material problems, they'll be very lofty answers. So meaning that everything, it comes down to the same thing. Do service, come out of your comfort zone. It's all coming from the mind. Don't listen to the material mind. Get out of that and reach out, come out of the comfort zone. Then I feel, oh my God, this is too hard for me. But then no, if we do it, then the reciprocation is also accordingly so overwhelming. Small problems, small solution. Big problems, overwhelming response. Once you take up that challenge and do it. It's so wonderful. I am just a non-entity, one small person. So if Krishna is reciprocating with me, how he will reciprocate with all devotees who have taken big challenges in Krishna consciousness. So all this shows that we take up more responsibilities, the better you will feel. You will really feel the bliss.
And that's why the easy way to get mercy in this Kali Yuga especially is to try and give Krishna consciousness to others. If you do that, immediately a different category, you get in a different category completely. Then you get special reciprocation because you're trying to help somebody, not just think of yourself all the time. So when you do that, that's why we get special reciprocation. And it could be a small thing, could be a big thing, doesn't matter. The more we can do that, the more we feel the closeness to Gurudev, to Prabhupada. We should try and do that as much as we can. And we should always be conscious of that. Take books with you everywhere you go. Take some prasad wherever you go. Because you don't know when the opportunity will come to give some prasad to someone, or book to someone, or something. The more we do that, that's the secret of our getting mercy.
Prabhu, as Masterji was mentioning about the reciprocation, I can share one of the experience which I recently had. We were in a Universal Studio and like it was all too much, what you can say, sunny and like it was wet, hot weather. I wasn't very feeling encouraged to have a day, trip there entirely. We went inside there. And then after spending a few minutes there, we just looked at the map and we were a bit confused. And the first person we actually tapped on him, he was actually having a back on our side. And we were looking into the map and I said, can you help us? Because we want to go to a certain place, but we cannot find it. And the first thing he turns around and says, Haribol. And because we were looking into the map, he turned around and we didn't look at him. And I said, what? Haribol, because we were wearing the neck bead. He was also wearing the neck beads. And that actually showed us, that actually lifted our entire spirit, saying that, Krishna is with us here as well, because he was the Universal Studio employee and devotee as well. So sometimes it's very hard for us to see the reciprocation.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's so direct that you get mercy in that way. So
yeah, it happens that way.
Okay.
That's true. Sometimes devotees go to far off restaurants with thinking nobody will come there, No devotee will see me here. The next person sitting there, hi ball. So I chose a restaurant for the same reason. I thought no one will come here. Now I said, I'm just putting it on Facebook. Saw you in such and such a restaurant. Caught red-handed. It works both ways. Okay. So we'll read the next paragraph. Shrimani Prabhu, read. You already read cleanliness, right? Maybe Rasanand Prabhu can read the steadiness. Yeah. You can give the book stand to him. It's the book stand right behind you. If you can carefully take it out. No, it's not being used anyway. So.
Steadiness means that one should be very determined to make progress in spiritual life. Without such determination, one cannot make tangible progress. And self-control means that one should not accept anything which is detrimental to the path of spiritual progress. One should become accustomed to this and reject anything which is against the path of spiritual progress. This is real renunciation. The senses are so strong that they are always anxious to have sense gratification. One should not cater to these demands which are not necessary. The senses should only be gratified to keep the body fit so that anyone can discharge his duty in advancing in spiritual life. The most important and uncontrollable sense is the tongue. If one can control the tongue, then there is every possibility of controlling the other senses. The function of the tongue is to taste and to vibrate. Therefore, by systematic regulation, the tongue should always be engaged in tasting the remnants of foodstuff offered to Krishna and chanting Hare Krishna. As far as eyes are concerned, they should not be allowed to see anything but the beautiful form of Krishna. That will control the eyes. Similarly, the ears should be engaged in hearing about Krishna and nose in smelling the flowers offered to Krishna. This is the process of devotional service, and it is understood here that Bhagavad Gita is simply expounding the science of devotional service. Right. Devotional service is the main and sole objective. Unintelligent commentators on the Bhagavad Gita try to divert the mind of the reader to other subjects, but there is no other subject in Bhagavad Gita than devotional service.
Very good. What's the main points in this verse, in this paragraph? Yeah.
One should be very much determined the progress, even though whatever hurdle comes or thing, but they should not be diverting from the path of spiritual progress. They should be advancing rather.
Yep.
So the key thing what is said here is the senses are very important, and it is the one if we try to control our senses with all related to devotional service, then our progress in devotional service will increase. So here they give the example of the tongue and the eyes, how the tongue is useful for tasting of the remnants of prasadam and chanting Hare for vibrations, Hare Krishna. About the ears to listen to the chanting, and the eyes to see the deities, and I'll think of Amrish Maharaj, who is popular in all these things.
Amrish Maharaj is famous for
all the
Atmanivedanam. Atmanivedanam Bali Maharaj.
All entire thing, all the 9 processes.
All the 9 processes he followed.
Devotional service.
He followed all the 9 processes. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam, all of them. So all the senses used in the service of the Lord, how does that benefit us? It helps us to get purified and does make progress in Krishna consciousness. But the same senses can be cause of degradation. That can, and sense gratification, that will degrade us. So how the eyes can get degraded? What example Bhagavatam gives of the eyes getting degraded, causing us to get degraded?
Probably the Ajamanna story.
Bhagavatam story, yeah. Bhagavatam gives a specific example for all the senses.
Is that Patanga Matanga Burang?
Very good.
That I cannot quote the exact sloka, but I can tell you the all the
all right.
words. Yeah.
Which senses?
So Patanga is the one which actually represents the eyes. So he is so agitated towards the fire. Basically, he get attracted towards the fire and almost get consumed into the fire.
Who is the Patanga?
Patanga is the fire moth.
The insect.
Insect.
The insect. You see an insect at night time, it goes towards the light. It gets hit the light bulb. It's very hot. Gets burnt alive.
Yeah, and
that's the Patanga. So the eyes are the cause of destruction for the.
That's right.
Insect.
So insect is the Patanga. Patanga Matanga is the elephant, which is basically representation of the touch sense.
Yeah.
So the Matanga is basically how they capture the elephant. Is basically they train the she elephant to go and rub the next to the he elephant, and then he goes mad behind her. There is a big pit ahead where she actually goes past that, and the big elephant actually gets fall into that pit, and then he gets to starve, and the little mouth actually comes and basically ride him. So that's how your sense of touch gets takes you in a distraction.
Okay.
The next one is the deer with his ears as listening senses. The hunt, it's very agile, it's very texturous in the movement, that if you want to kill the deer, you have to have, it is always moving. So the very hunter, actually what he does, he actually plays the flute, so that basically deer actually is looking for where this actually voice is coming from, and he stands still, and actually the hunter shoots the arrow and kills the deer. So that's the example for the hearing senses.
How one can get degraded by
That's
hearing.
right. Yeah,
improper hearing.
Yeah, improper hearing. So that's then Patanga Matanga. Just trying to remember the next one.
Who knows the other ones? We'll give others a chance. Let's see, anyone remembers? What are the other senses we have? We have covered the sense of sight, seeing. We covered touch. How does the honeybee get caught?
The honeybee actually get caught because it goes inside the flower, and because of that honey which is so tasteful, even though it has got the power to drill through the big wooden sort of door or something, but he gets so agitated because of that honey. It goes inside the flower, and as the sun set, the flower closes, and basically the honeybee actually died because of the suffocation inside the flower. He cannot breathe, but he is so intoxicated with that honey, he can't even get out of that flower, because the flower petals are so thin. He can drill the hole and come out, but because of his taste sort of sense, he gets get into that flower.
By the tongue is caught.
Tongue get caught.
No, actually smell is not.
No, sorry, that's that smell. And the tongue is for a fish.
Yes.
Fish actually gets get attracted towards the little food which is being thrown by the fisherman, and basically it swallows the hook as well.
Yeah.
And the expert fisherman doesn't actually give a tug at the same time. He just let it go, let it swallow more, and then a big one tug, the fish gets caught into the fisherman's net or hook. So they are the 5 examples.
Very good. Thank you. So all got it? All the senses? You found a verse? Somebody give the microphone to somebody should read the verse.
Kuranga Matanga Patanga Meena.
Which canto? Just give everyone the reference.
I cannot find the reference. I tried to find the reference.
Okay, alright, just read the verse.
I think Kuranga Matanga Patanga Meena Brunga Naraha Panchabir Anchita Kim. So Kurunga is deer, Matanga is elephant, Patanga is moth. I think then Meena fish and Brunga is honeybee.
Yeah, very good, thank you. So senses can be the cause of degradation, can be cause of elevation. When they are used in the service of the Lord, they cause of elevation. When they are used for sense gratification, they cause of degradation. So Narada Muni recommends Rishike and Rishikesh Sevanam Bhakti Ruchyate. That's devotion service. Okay.
The reference. It's Viveka Chudamani of Adi Shankara.
Vivek Chudamani, okay. Bhagavatam also reference, not the exact verse, but yeah, that's true what you've given, but Bhagavatam also gives the analogy. I'll find the verse. Yeah, it's not the same wording, different wording. Yeah, that's right. So, yeah. Okay, we'll go to the next paragraph. Janardhan to read the next paragraph. False ego.
Hare Krishna. False ego means accepting this body as oneself. When one understands that he is not his body and is spirit soul, he comes to his real ego. Ego is there. False ego is condemned, but not real ego. In the Vedic literature, Brihadaranyaka Upanishad 1.4.10, it is said, Aham Brahmasmi. I am Brahman. I am spirit. This I am, the sense of self, also exists in the liberated stage of self-realization. This sense of I am is ego. But when the sense of I am is applied to this false body, it is false ego. When the sense of self is applied to reality, that is real ego. There are some philosophers who say we should give up our ego, but we cannot give up our ego, because ego means identity. We ought, of course, to give up the false identification with the body.
So what's your realization on this? False ego.
So here Prabhupada is saying that false ego means identification with the body. And the real ego, actually the real ego is to understand that we are not this body, but we are the spirit soul. And the body is subjected to, is not permanent.
Correct. Very good. So what is the Sanskrit word used in the 20 items of knowledge for absence of false ego? Anahankara. Very good. Being without false egoism. How do the Mayavadis interpret this? Yes, they're saying without identity. Mayavadis say Anahankara means absence of false ego. Prabhupada makes a distinction between false ego and real ego. In other words, we can't have no ego. Now, normally, ego is considered a bad word. It's a bad thing to have. Oh, it's got so much ego. That's not right. Because there's a false ego and there's a real ego. What is real ego called? Swarupa, identity, correct. That's a Swarupa. What is a Swarupa? Krishna Nityadas, eternal servant of God. That's our identity. We should not forget that, and we should not try to get rid of that also. The Buddhists and the Mayavadis, they want to get rid of that identity as well, because they think that's also mundane. Just like in the material world, identity of father, mother, brother, sister, daughter, son, all these are material identities because they are related to the body. Whereas Krishna Nityadas is related to the soul, or Swarupa. That's why it's called Swarupa. Swa means one's own, Rupa means form. That's our original form. So the process of Krishna consciousness helps us to rediscover that original form. And technically it's called Sambandha Jnana. Sambandha Jnana means relationship with our original relation with Krishna. Sambandha Jnana, that is real ego. And how do you realize that? How do you realize the original position? Through devotion service. That's called Abhideya. And what is the result of applying the process? Prayojana, which is the result, which is love of God, Krishna Prem. So the end result is you end up with Krishna Prem. So you back to Krishna in Krishna Prem, in full Krishna Prem. We realize our original identity as to who we are. And then we can function in that relationship. So right now we don't know our Sambandha Gyan, we don't know our relation with Krishna. So we should assume, Prabhupada said, our default position is Dasya. You are a servant of Krishna. Krishna Das. You should not think you are a brother of Krishna or father of Krishna or mother of Krishna. That is artificial because we are not on that level. So devotees should not sentimentally think, oh, Krishna is very hungry today, I have to feed him, in a sentimental way. Rather we should think that I have to offer Krishna because he is the master. My Guru Maharaj has ordered me to serve him, so I'm offering to him as a servant. But not get too attached. Today he was, smiling at me, and Radharani was winking at me, and don't go into all those kind of. That is not Swarupa. I'm just saying, devotees sometimes get carried away by these things. They make all these comments and thinking. So yes, we should talk to deities, but not too much imagination there. One has to be very careful. And sometimes devotees come and say, today Radha Gopinath told me that you don't have to do any service, you can just go and snooze in the sun. You work so hard, you're tired, you need a break. That may not be the case. So Swarupa means our identity. So identity is established through Guru. Sambandha Jnana is given by spiritual master. We can't assume something. So that's why you see in Vrindavan sometimes people are there, they dress up like peacocks, they dress up like gopis. They got so many deviations are there. And they end up with creating more. They don't even follow the basic regulative principles, what to speak of Sambandha Gyan. There's no question of Sambandha Gyan. If you're not following the 4 principles, if you're not chanting, where will the Sambandha Gyan come from? It's not going to manifest by itself. We've got to work on sadhana bhakti, following the rules and regulations. And by that process, one can realize identity. So false ego means identify with the body, but false ego also means identify with Krishna in an inappropriate way. Inappropriately, if you relate to Krishna, that is also false ego. Because we are jumping over the Guru, we are trying to bypass Guru and say, I have found out for myself. Or if the Guru can't give me Sambandha Gyan, he's not a bona fide spiritual master. You hear people like that also. They say, oh, Guru Maharaj, can you tell me who's this? What am I in Krishna Leela? You can't tell, oh, therefore you're not a Guru. That's not a test of Guru. The Guru will give the Sambandha Gyan, but only when you are ready, not because we demand. It's not on demand. We have to see what's the qualification, where are we standing, how much progress we have to make. And symptom of this is that one has got developed love for Krishna. Just like Haridas Thakur was being glorified in the village, and people are all appreciating him, but the Brahmana, they couldn't handle it. And they said, oh, why is he's only a Muslim, he's getting so much respect, I'm a Brahmin, I should get more respect. So this Brahmana, he started showing symptoms of ecstasy. He thought, oh, Haridas Thakur is ecstatic, so they're respecting him. So he started also showing ecstatic symptoms. And then the village people got really annoyed. This guy is pretending and is imitating a great devotee. He is not ecstatic. So they said, let's find out if he's really ecstatic. So they said, let's give him one tight hit, hit him with a stick. If he doesn't feel like, if he's real ecstasy, he shouldn't feel any pain. And if he starts feeling pain, hit him more. So they soon found out that he was not in ecstasy at all. He was just imitating because he wanted some cheap adoration and name and fame. So he was imitating great Acharya. He was getting great offense. So then he was found out that he is not actually a very advanced devotee. So like that, we can't imitate an advanced devotee and pretend that I have got some wonderful qualities when actually we don't have those. So better to follow the rules and regulations. That is a safe method.
I remembered, sorry, one Mataji, she had bought small color pencils, very small, small ones. And she said, "This is for my Laddu Gopal. He likes to color." He's very naughty. He'll scratch on the wall, so I'm buying this for him. Sorry, but that was thing. And one more is Gurudev's song in that he glorifies each acharya, and in Bhakti Vinod Thakur's he says, "Aula Bauladi Apasampradaya Chaitanya Virodhi Matera Vidhaya." So all those Aula Baula people who were pretending to be gopis and all, that was Apasampradaya, and Bhakti Vinod Thakur came and put an end to all that, saying that you can't pretend to be pure devotees.
So we should offer, instead of offering color pencils, we should offer bhoga to the deities. You can offer garlands, you can offer flowers, you can offer the standard item, arati, incense. That's the proper way to serve the deity, not by offering whatever we like. Though if some new devotee is doing it, we should not discourage them also. Say, okay, at least offering something. That is also there, but we should not be doing that. We should not be doing that. Yeah. If some new devotee does innocently, don't get too hard. Hey, not in the 64 items. Sometimes we want to ride the high horse. We want to show everyone, correct them immediately. Say, hey, you're doing this wrong. That may not be necessary. Okay. Take the other one. Yeah. Keep it near you, it will come again. Okay.
Hare Krishna. I found the exact shloka.
Yeah.
I haven't found the reference yet though. I found the full shloka, the one which I was quoting. It says Patanga Matanga Kuranga Branga Meenahata Panchabhireba Pancha Ekah Pramati Katham Nahanyate Yah Sevate Panchabhire Ye Sevate Shab. Basically, the next line is basically saying that if the human, in a human form, all these senses are so so much strong and pulling you in 5 directions, how much it is difficult. If you can't control them, basically you are going to get into distraction.
Yes. It's called already, yeah? Is he on the line? Oh, okay, okay. Hello? Yeah, bro. So, okay, Jagannath Gopal has sent me the reference here. First canto, what is the, just can read out the verses, is 18, is it too small? I can't see. 180. 1187, yeah, 11th canto. 11th canto, yeah, 1187, 1188. Yeah. 717 and yeah, 11 8 17. So start with 11 8. Which is the earliest one? 7, right? 7, 17, 19. Yeah, 11th canto, 8th chapter, 7, 17 and 19 and 23 and 13. So those are the references to the Bhagavatam reference to these verses, what you are talking about. Bhagavatam 11th canto. I think it must be Uddhava Gita. It must be part of Uddhava Gita. You got it, Samriti? Yeah. Can you read out those verses? No, it's not. They are different verses. That's why he read the numbers, no? They are in different verses, but they are from the Bhagavatam. 7 is start from 7. Give the microphone. Pass the microphone to. No, it's okay. We got it here now.
11:87 for the I think the fire. Drishtva striyam devamayam
Satyam Devamayam
tad bhavair ajitendriya
Bhabai Maritendriya
pralobita patatyandhe
Sarita Prakatande.
tamasyagnav patanga. A saintly person should never touch a young girl. In fact, he should not even let his foot touch a wooden doll in the shape of a woman. By bodily contact with a woman, he'll surely be captured by illusion, just as the elephant is captured by the she elephant due to his desire to touch her body. Now, which one, Prabhu? 7.
I think it's a fish.
Being attracted to the worldly singing, dancing, and musical entertainment of beautiful women, even the great sage Rishyashranga.
Okay, got 18. Okay, 19. Okay.
Becoming attracted to the worldly singing, dancing, and musical entertainment of beautiful women, even the great sage Rishyaranga, the son of Mrigi, fell totally under their control, just like a pet animal.
Now did 19 also.
Just as a fish, incited by the desire to enjoy his tongue, is fatally trapped on the fisherman's hook, similarly, a foolish person is bewildered by the extremely disturbing urges of the tongue and thus is ruined.
Yeah. So that's the whole section. What is the 11th canto, chapter 8 called? What is the title? Story of Pingala. Yeah. So the different gurus are there. Narayani Mataji, 24 gurus. This that story. Yeah. Okay. We have to finish now because I have to make a call to Bhakti Churu Maharaj. Is waiting for my call in South Africa, so I have to call him. I'm also getting call from Jayapatak Maharaj is calling me as well. So they're all giving blessings for today's event. So yeah, so it's, I don't want to miss that. I think we're almost done. If you want, you can read a couple more paragraphs. You can read. There's time for another 10 minutes. You can read, but I'll have to sign off.